Hello everyone, it is Monday and I just finished pulling my energy reading cards for the week. And this week, our collective energy card is the Dragon. So last week we had a spirit card with the black egg, and this week we have a spirit card with the dragon. And so the dragon resides in our third chakra, so at our navel center. And I do really enjoy this card because it's all about seeing beauty in things, especially where you don't expect there to be beauty. And so, if you think of the dragon as a storyteller, the dragon is able to tell you the story before your story even begins because it sees everything that's inside of you and then outside of you. So, it's able to really see like the arc of your life where all the things that had to happen before your time so that way you could have your time. Then it also then knows everything after your time. So the dragon is really thought of as your dearest, closest friend. And so something to keep in mind is that the spirit cards usually are cards that come in fleeting moments. So our awareness of their energy doesn't always stick for us. We sometimes will sort of sense it and we'll just think we're having a really good day, which may be true that you are having a good day, but we won't necessarily know why. But the other thing about the spirit cards is that they are accessible to us. We can access their energy by reminding ourselves that they are there for us. And so it's one of those things where if we really were to look at ourselves in the mirror, like physically look at ourselves, we did this often enough or long enough, we would eventually realize that we're seeing ourselves and not just like, here, this is what my face looks like, but actually staring into our eyes. I don't know if you've ever had that moment of when you've locked eyes with someone and then all of a sudden time seems to skip a few seconds and you're sort of shaking yourself out of that, like, whoa, what just happened? You can have that moment with yourself. And when that happens, then the energy of the dragon is said to be there because it's giving you a brief glimpse of what it sees. So it's seeing the real you. It's seeing the you that, again, believes that there's beauty or possibility everywhere. And when you're feeling this dragon energy this week, it's all about transformation and knowing that if we're thinking of dragons as our friends, that we can have that dragon be taking us through all of these ups and downs and corkscrews that we're experiencing right now. So you're able to, so to speak, ride on this dragon's back, and it's going to be nimble enough and supportive enough and see beauty enough to take us to the places that are going to be in our best interest. So one of the activities that I am going to suggest, and it's very open-ended, so that way, again, you can do what feels best for you, is to really pick a moment, time, day, and it doesn't have to be in advance. It could just be like, okay, on Tuesday, generally, I'm going to save this block of time. But pick a moment during this week that you can either go around your house, since we're in quarantine, you can't go far, go around your house. If you have access to outdoor space, go outside and just make a list of things that you feel are beautiful. And then maybe that's one column. And then on the other column, things that you really appreciate and that feel impactful to you or that could really help aid in your transformation. And now if that list of things does not include some of the beautiful things, then that becomes a journal prompt of, why am I perhaps not seeing beauty in something that means so much to me? Is my idea of beauty really defined by external sources of, oh, beauty means that if I'm looking at myself, I have to have a very chiseled face and I have to have this even skin tone or whatever it ends up being. If you're looking at objects like, oh, well, I know I got this at a thrift store, so that can't be beautiful. Whatever that story ends up being for you. And if you're somewhere where spring hasn't fully sprung and you're thinking like, oh, I don't really see many flowers, or all I see is like a barren tree, how can you challenge yourself to see beauty in that? Is it just a matter of imagining what the tree will look like in a few weeks? Is it actually thinking about how beautiful it can be that a tree survives winter and even without showing any life, it's still alive? Yeah, and so really, again, just to recap, because that was a lot of words, have that moment of what do you see that's beautiful around you? What things around you do you really value and see as something that nourishes you? And then if there's spaces where what's beautiful isn't what you value, just either think, journal, draw, explore, just sit with that, meditate, really sit with that, and then challenge yourself to redefine what's beautiful. And again, it doesn't mean that your definitions are wrong. That's not it at all. It's just expanding what you see beautiful. Because the dragon spirit reminds us that beauty really can be in so many places. And the more we're equipped to see beauty in more places, then we're going to be seeing enough beauty, and by beauty I mean light, love, peace, that we at least believe that that's a possibility for us in the long term. And so that, to me, is where that transformation comes from. Because if we have to first be able to understand that a different outcome than what we have learned to expect is possible to then have that transformation. And so small activities or practices like that at least give us, in a very cerebral, like brainy way, a moment to really stretch how we're reflecting on things, stretch what our definitions are. So that way we can even entertain throughout this week that we're going to see more beauty than we saw last week. So this is week 4. Oh, puppies heard someone outside. I'm on week 4 of quarantine. And so I do need to shake up my environment. And while I can't do that much, I need to find more beauty. So like right now, because providing is about yes anding, how can I yes and find beauty in that my pups are barking? Well, they're keeping me safe. They're letting me know that someone's driving by outside. And so that allows me to know that I don't have to be vigilant. If something is going on, they'll let me know. And so that means I don't have to really worry about much of anything, which again is a privilege that I'm aware that I have, but I understand that they have a way to communicate to me. So that's beautiful in itself, because that's a skill and a certain heightened sense that I don't have. Okay, and so another thing I wanted to mention about the transformation point is, so the first step is really, even for like this dragon card, is entertaining that something else is possible. But another part is just a reminder that transformation doesn't and shouldn't, even I usually don't say the word shouldn't, but doesn't and shouldn't have to be alone. And there are instances where you're feeling very alone, and that's totally valid. But if you have a support network, if you have anyone at all that you go to, as things come up, really take that step if you can to either incorporate people in this journey so they can have that transformation themselves, or even just reach out so that way you have that guided transition, because a lot of shit will come up. And it's definitely not about having rose-colored glasses and say everything is beautiful. So like the trauma I'm going through right now is beautiful. No, it's about seeing the things that can and are beautiful, so that way you feel that balance is possible. Because the point of life is to never get rid of any of, to have no challenge at all, because then that again doesn't leave balance, and it also can at times have us feeling like a plateau with what is good. So even if something is pleasant, we'll get really used to that, and then okay, no perspective. So right now, totally yes and validate what you're experiencing and all the trauma, all of that is real. But also see if you can make space for that. There might be something that is beautiful, nourishing, supportive, made you laugh today. Like, it is okay to hold complicated and seemingly opposing experiences. So you can be absolutely so overwhelmed yet underwhelmed with being in your house, and also have laughed at a TV show that you watched today. That is okay. Oftentimes we're sort of told in society to pick something, and we have to commit so firmly, and then we can't yield. But that is not really sustainable for your spirit either. So to wrap this up, this week is the Dragon Week, which again is a spirit card, and it's reminding us that beauty is everywhere, and when we can have that spirit of having dragon with us as a friend, then we could, really navigate through the transitions this week will be bringing us. And anytime we're feeling our energy is very low, or like we don't really have much to sustain us throughout the week, see what you can see around you that's beautiful. And it could even be something like, oh, my sister's handwriting is beautiful. Even if it's just one thing and that you're sort of convincing yourself that that's beautiful, that at least is a spiritual and a cognitive cue that the outcome that you're desiring of having more beauty versus pain is even possible. So if you have any questions, you can comment or reach out. You can find me on Instagram at improviding, IMPROV. Yes, IMPROVIDING. As you can tell, it's in the morning, whereas usually I make these videos at night. So, again, thank you for tuning in. I hope you have a real razzle-dazzly dragon week. Remember that the dragon is here to give you a glimpse of your past, present, and future, and know that the dragon always resides within you.